Red Bull just held a closed-door engineer briefing after pre-season, and what came out of it is insane. Not a headline lap. Not a flashy pole simulation. Something much worse for the rest of the grid. A Ford power unit running 12 degrees cooler than Mercedes and Ferrari. 15 km/h advantage at the end of the straight without drag reduction. A 15-lap race simulation with barely a tenth of a second variation. Zero clipping. Almost zero tire degradation. And here's the part that should genuinely scare Ferrari and Mercedes. Max Verstappen says this is not even his favorite car to drive. It feels heavier in slow corners. More demanding. Yet he still delivered race pace roughly 4/10 per lap faster than Ferrari over long runs. And during some quick laps, he was lifting. Hiding performance. By the end of this video, you'll understand what Verstappen's engineer briefing really revealed after pre-season, why the Ford engine might already be the reference point of the grid, and why Red Bull may have built a car designed not for headlines, but for inevitability. If you want to know what is actually happening beneath the surface in Formula 1, subscribe now. Because what Red Bull just revealed changes everything. Pre-season testing is officially over. No more experiments. No more sandbagging. No more hiding behind heavy fuel loads. Bahrain gave us clarity. And what that Red Bull engineer briefing revealed was not just speed. It was control. Let's rewind to Barcelona. The shakedown was almost silent. Minimal laps. No aggressive runs. But even in those early kilometers, Verstappen reported something crucial. The balance felt neutral. The transition between electric and combustion power was smooth. Imperceptible. That might sound small. It is not. When a team introduces its first fully integrated power unit with Ford branding, the biggest risk is blending. Hybrid torque spikes. Energy hesitation. Unstable throttle delivery. Red Bull avoided all of it from day one. That is not luck. That is engineering alignment. Then came Bahrain. And the tension. The hydraulic leak on Wednesday stopped the RB22 for 4 hours. Rumors exploded. Is the packaging too tight? Is the new engine fragile? Max was scheduled to drive that afternoon. He refused. He wanted the car perfect. That moment could have signaled weakness. Instead, it triggered the opposite. Thursday. 15 laps. Barely a tenth of a second deviation between each lap. That is not just consistency. That is structural stability. It means tire degradation is almost non-existent. It means energy deployment is predictable. It means thermal management is under control. And here is where the engineer briefing became explosive. The Ford power unit is reportedly running 12 degrees cooler than Mercedes and Ferrari. 12 degrees. In Formula 1, that is enormous. Cooler temperatures allow tighter packaging. Tighter packaging reduces drag. Reduced drag increases straight-line efficiency. And unlike several rivals who experienced visible clipping at the end of Bahrain's long straight, the RB22 kept deploying power. No fade. No cut. Estimates suggest roughly 15 km/h advantage without drag reduction. That is not marginal. That is systemic. Now add race pace. While Ferrari chased simulated pole laps, Verstappen ran a full race distance. His long run average was approximately 4/10 per lap faster than Ferrari. 4/10 per lap compounds brutally over a Grand Prix. And during some of those quicker laps, he was lifting on the straights. Managing output. Not revealing the full ceiling. That means there is headroom. Technically, the RB22 supports this narrative. The extreme anti-dive suspension keeps the platform flat under braking. Max can brake 10 meters later than rivals without destabilizing the aerodynamic floor. The updated side pod package improved airflow toward the diffuser, increasing rear traction. Degradation remains minimal. Now listen carefully to Verstappen's own words. "This is not my favorite car to drive," he admitted. "It's heavier in slow corners. You have to change your style to manage the energy." That honesty matters. Because it tells us something crucial. If this is not even his preferred balance, and he is already delivering superior long-run pace, what happens when development smooths the weaknesses? What happens when the car becomes more comfortable? The engineer briefing reportedly emphasized one message above all. "We built this car for Sunday. Not for headlines. Not for glory laps. For inevitability. Pre-season testing is complete. The stopwatch has spoken." Red Bull did not chase one-lap fireworks. They demonstrated sustainability, thermal margin, energy consistency, tire stability, and a driver fully synchronized with a brand new engine era. That combination is rare. And when it appears this early, championships often follow. If Melbourne confirms what Bahrain suggested, qualifying might still produce surprises. Ferrari could grab pole. But over race distance, over tire cycles and energy phases, the RB22 looks engineered for control. And when Max Verstappen operates from a position of control, dominance becomes methodical. The season has not started yet. But what that engineer briefing revealed is clear. Red Bull are not adapting to a new era. They may already be defining it. And here is where the real warning sits. Because what that engineer briefing ultimately exposed was not just performance. It was margin. Margin is the most dangerous word in Formula One. When your engine runs 12 degrees cooler than your rivals, you are not operating on the limit. You are operating with breathing room. Breathing room allows tighter bodywork. Tighter bodywork reduces drag. Reduced drag amplifies straight-line efficiency. And when that efficiency already gives you roughly 15 km per hour at the end of the straight without drag reduction, you are not fighting for overtakes. You are controlling them. Now think about development. Most teams leave pre-season with emergency lists. Cooling concerns. Energy mapping inconsistencies. Balance instability over long runs. Red Bull left with refinement targets. Not structural flaws. That difference defines the early season. If you are solving problems, you are reacting. If you are refining strengths, you are advancing. And Verstappen's adaptation is the silent multiplier in all of this. He openly said the car is heavier in slow corners. Not as playful. Requires a different driving style. But what he did not say is more important. He did not say it was unpredictable. He did not say it lacked confidence. He said the degradation is almost zero. He said he feels in control. Control means mistakes disappear. Control means strategy becomes flexible. Control means pressure shifts to everyone else. Now imagine the first race scenario. Ferrari might unleash an aggressive qualifying map and take pole. But over a race stint, when temperatures fluctuate, when tire life becomes critical, when energy deployment must remain consistent, the RB22's structure becomes decisive. 15 laps in Bahrain with barely a tenth of variation. That is not a spike. That is repeatability. Repeatability wins championships. And there is still one unsettling detail. During some of his quicker laps, Max was lifting on the straights. Managing output. Hiding the ceiling. That suggests unused potential. If this is the baseline, the true limit may not have been shown yet. Helmut Marko described the race simulation as depressing for rivals. That was not arrogance. It was data confidence. The Ford engine, once considered the risk of the season, now looks like the anchor of stability. Consistent deployment. No clipping. Thermal superiority. The RB22 is not the most dramatic car in the paddock. It is not chasing headlines. It is engineered for distance. And when a car is engineered for distance, with minimal degradation and sustainable pace, it forces rivals into uncomfortable decisions. Push harder and risk fragility. hold back and concede performance. Pre-season testing is finished. There are no more rehearsals. The numbers are real. And what Verstappen's engineer briefing revealed is not hype. It is structure. Structure built around Sunday. Structure built around sustainability. Structure built around a driver who, even in a car he does not call perfect, is fully synchronized with its strengths. If Melbourne confirms what Bahrain suggested, qualifying may look competitive. But over race distance, over strategy, over energy phases, the RB22 appears designed to absorb pressure rather than crack under it. And when Red Bull build a car that absorbs pressure, championships tend to follow. The season has not begun. But the message from that briefing was unmistakable. They are not experimenting. They are executing. And execution, when combined with margin, becomes incredibly difficult to beat.